Before I start this video, I just want to give a shout out to Och, Natural by Law. Natural by Law. I've been watching some of his videos, getting a lot of this knowledge. But this video right here is the video on which I got the knowledge to create the video that I'm making right now. So the knowledge that's going to be presented in this video that I'm making right now is not knowledge from me. I'm just telling you right now, got it from Natural by Law. I watched this video like 3 times, man. And yeah, it's good. Good video. Make sure you subscribe to this man's channel. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. He should have like way more subscribers, but I don't know why, I don't know why. So I'm going to be talking about Noah, the dreadhead albino from Florida. We're going to first go to the fragments of the Book of Noah, CVI. It says, after some days, my son Methuselah took a wife for his son Lamech, and she became pregnant by him and bore a son. And his body was white as snow, and red as the blooming rose, and the hair of his head and his long locks were white as wool, and his eyes were beautiful. And he opened his eyes, he lighted up the whole house like the sun, and the whole house was very bright. Do you get what they're saying here? Do you get what they're saying? Noah's skin was white, pink, like the rose, whitish pink, right? His hair was white as well, and the locks of his head. He had locks on his head, right? They were white like wool. This kind of remind me of Revelation 1 and 14, right? How they want to describe Christ. They said his head and his hair was white like wool, as white as snow. Right? You got to think like that. That's what it reminded me of. But Noah was the first person on earth to fit this description, because everybody before Noah was black, brown, copper-colored people. No one was white. There was no such thing as any human being who was white or was near being white. And it says his long locks. His long locks were white as wool. Wool. You can ponder upon that. Now we're in the book of Genesis, Bereshit, chapter 6 and verse 5, right? And Elohim saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was evil continually. And it repented Hayah that he made man on earth, and it grieved him in his heart. And Hayah said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the sight of Hayah. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with Elohim. Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now, since we already discussed how Noah was albino, and his mother and father was black, his grandfather was black, his grandmother was black, his great-grandmother was black, they were all black, Adam was black, Eve was black, and Noah was merely, he just carried the trait of albinism. Now, I don't know where or why he was albino. He probably had a few fallen angel phenotypes. This is why Japheth was probably carried the phenotype or genotype of Noah being an albino. Japheth himself was probably an albino. This does not mean all Japhethites came out to be albino, but it does mean albinism is dominant in the Japhethites. I mean, that's not a fact, but that's just my theory, due to the fact that white people do come from Japheth, and they also have otherworldly traits in their genetics. I'm just thinking, man. Let's just continue to read. The earth was also corrupt before Elohim, and the earth was filled with violence. And Elohim looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And Elohim said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Room shalt thou make in the ark, and thou shalt pitch it within and without with pitch. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Gopher wood, gopher wood, gopher wood. Gopher wood, gopher, gopher. Come from the Hebrew word gopher, right? From an unused root, probably meaning to house, in a kind of tree or wood, as used for building. Apparently the cypress. It says apparently the cypress, right? And I'm gonna get into that. And when I say Florida, I don't mean, the small state of Florida that we know of today. On old maps, Florida used to be huge. It used to stretch eastward all the way to southeast Texas, where I'm currently living right now, and upward all the way to what they used to call Canada. Now, this was probably before the Louisiana Purchase. The cypress. It says the cypress, right? So it says cypress, but then it has a question mark afterwards. Why are they putting a question mark at the cypress? Why did they put cypress there in the first place? It says gopher wood. Wood of which the ark was made, and then it says meaning and exact type unknown. Trees such as pine trees, right? The fir, the cypress, the cedar, and other types of trees, of which kind used in ship building. Why do people who like to build things love to use this type of wood? I don't know. Gopher. Of course, they give us an animal. But let's continue. But look, let's look at the last sentence. One of the last sentences. It says, the gopher wood tree of the Bible, used by Noah to make the ark. It is from the Hebrew gopher, name of the kind of wood now unidentified, perhaps meaning the cypress. They keep saying unidentified, right? But that's why you have to dig. That's why you gotta surf the wave. Because they'll keep telling you it's unidentified. Now it's time for you to identify it. They already said cypress. They already gave you a clue and a hint, right? Let's keep digging. Cypress. Cypress. Perhaps related to Hebrew gopher. Why do they keep telling us the same thing? Name of the tree whose wood was used to make the ark. Torreya taxifolia, commonly known as the Florida nutmeg, Florida torreya, or what is it also known as? It's also known as, you guessed it, we found out that it was also named gopherwood, right? But look, it's also called the stinking cedar, right? Cedar. Torreya taxifolia. And it actually is critically endangered right now. Critically. And this is the only place that it's living in right now. Why is it so endangered? Why was this tree constantly being cut down? Why are they trying to erase this tree from off of this land? But most importantly, why do they need the tree? It's good for ship building. It's good for a lot of things. Right? It is these type species of the genus Torreya taxifolia became one of the first federally listed endangered plant species in the United States in 1984. The IUCN lists the species as critically endangered. A survey conducted in 2000 estimated the population of Torreya taxifolia is its native habitat to be between 500 and 600 individuals, with approximately 10 capable of reproduction. What kind of BS is this? You only have 10 of these things left that are able to reproduce. Not only did they try to cut us off, they tried to cut off our resources. I'm gonna repeat. Not only did they try to cut us off, but they also tried to cut off our resources. And when they came to our land, they swept through it, thus killing millions, thousands of our trees. Not just any trees, the Torreya tree, the gopher wood. Due to poorly understood fungal blight that has destroyed 98% of the mature trees of the species. So they're blaming it on fungus now, huh? They're blaming it on fungus. Okay. I don't know about fungus that just kills trees. But okay. So they're blaming it on fungus, but why? Why would they need to blame it on fungus? Because look, we know they're lying. In the 19th century, the tree was harvested for wood that was used as fence posts, shingles, furniture, and as a fuel for riverboats on the Ecological River. Right? I'm going to repeat that. The wood was used for fence posts, shingles, furniture, and as a fuel for riverboats on the Ecological River. Right? It was occasionally been planted as a landscape tree around Tallahassee, and one such specimen in Florida has achieved 30 feet. Some large specimens are grown elsewhere in botanical gardens, and this is where species has the best chance to survive. It tells you that they die from fungus, but it also tells you in the 1800s these people started using all this wood for furniture, fence posts, riverboats, furniture, shingles. There's something about that I just don't understand. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. This was one of the first federally listed endangered plant species in the United States in 1984. It is a critically endangered species on the IUCN Red List due to estimated 98% decline in mature individuals since the 1950s. So you're blaming it on fungus. But why did this fungus only come about in the 1950s? I need answers. Before the start of the decline, the population was estimated to have been more than 600,000. What? The population was estimated to have been more than 600,000. The current population is estimated to be between 500 and 600 trees, of which was less than 10 are known to produce male or female cones. So you mean to tell me a fungus has wiped out more than 500,000 trees in the past, what, 50 years? But then you also said in the 1800s, you people have been using it for boats and fences and ships and furniture. Gotta be out of your mind to think we that's dumb. Y'all gotta be out of y'all mind to think we are that dumb. This is what the seed looks like, man. This is gopher wood. This is gopher wood, right? Let me show you something. Even when you simply Google the definition of gopher wood, the second definition will tell you either of two North American trees. How about that? Right? How about that? When you think about Noah and the ark, you don't think about Florida. You don't think about that, do you? But now you will. Torreya taxifolia, gopher wood of Ecological, one of the world's rarest trees. One of the world's rarest and oldest known trees grows along the bluffs and ravines of the Gadsden and Liberty countries, Florida. Now answer me this. If this is one of the oldest trees in existence, tell me why in the heck are they talking about a fungus is just now starting to kill them and it's only been around since the 1950s? But they started using it for everything in the 19th and 18th century. To me, it sounds like they're wiping out our history, but they didn't do a good enough job because their internet is backfired. We're able to find out many things. Local settlers were already familiar with Croom's rare tree. They called it the stinking cedar because of the strong odor it gave when cut or bruised. Despite its smell, however, they used it for a wide variety of purposes, ranging from fence posts and shingles for Christmas trees. So they're going to use our tree for their pagan crap, for their Babylonian, Saturnalia, pagan crap. Stop. The tree's popularity almost spelled its doom. It is estimated there were 600,000 Toria trees in the Apalachicola River Valley during the early 1800s. Only around 200 survive today. Come on. This was only 200 years ago that over 500,000 trees are gone. This makes no sense. It's almost like they know this is gopher wood, and they're deliberately trying to take it away from our land so that we don't understand this is the biblical promised land. So we're dealing with gopher wood here. We are dealing with gopher wood, right? Gopher wood test result, right? Biologists know that gophers are found only in the Western Hemisphere, primarily in North America. Biologists know this. Biologists deal with what? The earth and life. So I can stop right there. Because as soon as you Google gopher wood, it tells you the biblical wood used to build the ark. And when people randomly see the word biblical, oh, it must not be true. Oh, it's a fairy tale. Oh, it's made up. It doesn't exist. It's biblical. It's fake. But why are biologists scientifically identifying this thing? If it's fake, if it's made up. That's why they are making this thing go extinct. There's only 10 on the entire earth that are able to reproduce. And this only happened in between a 200-year period. That's 20 decades, people. My little brother is 10 years old. I multiply his age times 20, and that's how long it took for them to kill off 500,000 trees. This had to have an agenda behind it. It had to. That's all I'm trying to say. All you have to do to get dreads is wash your hair, let it dry, and don't pick it out. Just leave it alone. We go back to the book of Enoch. This is called the fragment of the book of Noah. His body was white as snow and red as the blooming rose. And the hair of his head and his long locks were white as wool. What did it say? His long locks. Didn't King Solomon have locks too? Didn't Ezekiel have locks too? Didn't Samson have locks too? Why are all these biblical people having locks? This is just another surefire, common sense people telling you who we are. I mean, any race could have dreads, but who primarily has them? When we look at the Bonaparte, or the Quiche priesthood of the Mayans, we're just talking Mayans here. What color are they? But that's of the least importance. What kind of hairstyle do they have? What kind of hairstyle do these people have, man? Come on. It's clearly not straight hair though, right? This is the kind of hairstyle they had, man. This, 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 dreads, locks, locks. A lot of the black people who have locks in America don't even know the cultural significance behind why they have locks. Why do our people do this? Why do our people subconsciously do this? And you might say, well, we just started doing this in the 1900s. That's a lie. We've actually been doing this. It's not new. It just became a trend in the 1900s. But before then, before it was a trend, it was a culture. It was an entire culture. And not just Israelites did it, peoples around the world did it. The Chinese did it. You know, white people did it. Celtic times, all kinds of people did this stuff. Africans do it and did it till this day, right? But in the Americas is what I'm talking about. Indigenous peoples of the Americas do this stuff, man. Noah had locks. Solomon had locks. We read about Ezekiel having locks, Samson having locks. Why? So we know scientifically and biblically, once upon a time, all the continents of the earth were once stuck together. One huge continent. And it wasn't until the time of Peleg that the continents began to divide. And Peleg lived after Noah. So during the time of Noah, the earth looked something like this. The black dot is Florida, the white dot is Turkey, and the gray dot is Mesopotamia. Many people will say Mesopotamia is where Noah lived. Many people will say Mesopotamia is where Adam and Eve and everybody else lived before the flood, right? But Noah's Ark was found, my friends, was found in Mount Ararat, which is in Turkey, the white dot. So look at this. It took Noah 10 months to get from point A to point B. It took Noah 10 months to get from where he lived originally to the mountains of Ararat, which is the white dot. It's actually a proven fact that they found Noah's Ark, and it is in one of the smaller mountains of Mount Ararat. And not only that, but you can actually visit the place. It's called Noah's Ark National Park. And you can look at it. You can take pictures of it. But you can go inside of there. They took pictures of the inside. Yeah, they found Noah's Ark, but they'll never teach you that in school. But what is more believable? That it took 10 months to get from the gray dot to the white dot, or the black dot to the white dot. 50% would say the first answer choice, 50% would say the second answer choice, But I think it's very unlikely that the ark, stayed in the same place all that time. I think it's very unlikely that the ark stayed in the same place all that time. Because really, Mesopotamia and Turkey are border countries.